Alright, welcome back guys. Moving swiftly on with my next model, my next project. Now the Catwoman back pod's done. Now this model, while I was in LA, it was my birthday as well. So that's one of the reasons why I went to LA, because it was my birthday. My mother-in-law works part-time voluntary at a charity shop. The charity shop benefits the home that she works for because she's a care worker. Well, one day a model came in and she thought, you know what, I know my son-in-law Wayne likes models, so I'll pick it up for him. I don't know how much it cost her, I haven't got a clue. I mean, she might have picked it up for nothing, to be honest, but I have priced it up on eBay and Amazon. It's worth about 30 quid. So here is my next model. As you can see, it is the 148 Tornado GR1 1A aircraft. Now, I'm not really into model planes, to be honest, but as it was a freebie and you could say it was my birthday, I'm not going to refuse it, to be honest. I've laid all the sprues out on myself in my man cave, as it were. It is going to be quite a big model, to be honest. I mean, you can see how big my hand is, and you can see how big this bottom half of the fuselage is, because some parts are loose. I'm hoping all the parts are there, to be honest. As like I said, it was bought into the charity shop. There's the top half of the fuselage. You can see how quite big it is. I just took them up there. Then you've got the various sprues. You've got the rear wing. You've got the wings. You've got missiles. Or bombs, I should say. Some more bombs. Yet some more bombs. More wing pieces. You've got the ejector seats there. Just some wheels. Various bits and bobs there. Yet some more missiles and bombs. I suppose there's a variant on what you can do this to. And there are some few little bits in the box. I'm assuming that's for the interior, the cockpit. You got the panel as well, the actual canopy. Now, while I was in America at Evitz, I picked up some micro crystal clear, so I won't get no glue dry marks on the canopies anymore. Anyway, so there's the few bits and bobs, and then you've got the two pilots. It comes with two pilots. Quite detailed, to be honest, not too bad. Oh, it looks like I might have to put the arm on that pilot, so I've got to find that on the sprue somewhere. Now, the one thing that pisses me off about pilot figures is that thing in the back. I don't know why they do that. I can't understand why they can't fill that in. So I'm going to have to fill that in with some putty maybe. Instructions are fairly straightforward. Just like everything else, always starts with the pilot and you've got to put the two arms on. Not too bad instructions, oh bloody hell. This is the first time I've really took this kit out of the box, to be honest, since I've been home from LA holiday. Looks like it has got variants. You can do the GR1 or the GR1A. As your colour guide, I've got to find out what those colours are, so I'm going to do my research in a bit on the internet and write them down on the actual instruction to what those colours are. They are Humbrol colours apparently. Then you get a decal guide as well. Damn! That is packed. That's going to take some doing. I don't know whether I'm going to paint it in the green and the grey, or maybe I might paint it in desert. I don't know yet. And there's your various variants for the bombs. So that's why there's three sets of bombs. Now, the one good thing about this I like is the decal sheet. This thing is huge. It's like two A4 pieces of paper put together. I mean, there's like looks like two or three sets of markings for the various squadrons. Looks like you can do it to RAF as well, but not too bad. Not too bad at all. Well, there it is, guys, the Tornado. Quite looking forward to this, even though I'm not really into planes, so stay with me. Right, hi guys. I've prepared the cockpit and the consoles in the Halford's grey primer. It says to paint it light grey, but it's only a shade darker than the light grey, so I'm going to leave it in the primer while I put the console decals on. Now, confusing part starts. As you can see on the plans in the square boxes, you've got the decal numbers. 78, 79, this, that and the other. The only trouble is, the 70s decals are not these console decals. These console decals, they're actually in the 150s. And the 70s decals are more actually decals for the outer hull of the actual Tornado. So basically, I'm going to have to try and figure out where these go. I don't know how the hell I'm going to do it. I mean, I know that one goes on that there, but that's about it. So talk about confusing. Stay with me, guys. Right. Hey guys, welcome back. Another update. As you can see, I've figured out where the cockpit decals go. I've got them all in, and on the screen, on the dashboards as well. Got them all in there, as you can see. Not too bad to get in once I figured out where they went. Then I got my microset and microsol, put them down, and then sealed it. I've also painted the control levers in black. So that's the cockpit all done. Stay with me, guys. Right, hey guys, right, as you can see, I've put the bottom half and the top half of the fuselage together now. I did have an update before I put it all together. I accidentally deleted it, so I'm going to have to do it all over again. As you can see, I've glued the cockpit in from underneath on the top half of the fuselage. I've painted that black, and I've painted that grey to match the inside of the cockpit. Also, there's a 15 grams of metal shot in a little bag, nearly sealed in a little bag in the nose, so it counterweights it so it don't sit on its tail, a tail sitter. Inside here, there's two little rods, one there and one there, so you can push these backwards and forwards, because as you can see on the plans, on the main wings there's a little rod, and you glue it from there to there, and that enables that to move, as you can see. But the only problem is it doesn't stop it moving fully right like that, and as you can see, it's on there on the joinage, it's pulled the glue out again, so I'm going to have to re-glue that and clamp it, and then once it's dry I have to sand that down. Also, it tells you to put the rear stabiliser wings together with this little rod, which is that, and then that sits on the inside of that hole there, as you can see, and then them would move up and down. But the only trouble is, the rod, when glued on, the only thing that was holding it was these two little tabs, and they're just like folded completely down instead of being straight. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to try and get that on there like that, and then glue it to the main hull so it won't move at all, because like I said, it just went straight down both sides. But anyway, last night I put the clamps, I put elastic banding clamps around there, 2 clamps there, and then load of tape around there because the clamps wouldn't hold it together because they kept moving. Well, I've took all the clamps and tape off now. It's glued quite well, not too bad. But if I turn it over slightly, you can see that the massive seam, the 2 halves haven't glued together properly. Especially, it's gone all the way down as well. So what I'm going to have to do, where the seams are, I'm going to have to put some putty, some modelling putty, all the way down the seam, both sides, wait for it to dry, and then get some more fine sandpaper and sand it off, and then hopefully that seam will disappear. But it's looking good, so at the moment, stay with me, guys. Right, as you can see, my clamps on the wings now, and in that section on each side where they pulled it apart, I've glued it, and as you can see I've clamped it. Now, with the rear wing problem I was having, with that piece of shit plastic, and it was only holding it on with a bit of plastic to connect into the wings, what I've done is I've got my cheap Dremel, grinded that off, and drilled a hole, because what I'm going to do, I know it might be a cheap shit way of doing it, but I'm going to try it with a cocktail stick, because at least it'll give me the stability of being pushed, because that's all the way in there now. It'll give me the stability that that crappy rod won't. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stick that all the way through there and show you how it works. Right, I've stuck that through now, and as you can see, it'll give me the stability of that. I might be able to get away with putting a drop of glue there maybe as well, and at least it'll give me the stability, and it sticks through the other end instead of that shitty little rod. But at the moment we'll see how that goes. Stay with me, guys. Right guys, happy days, it's worked a treat. So what I did is this wing, I pushed that onto the cocktail stick into place. Now that massive seam, that step seam I could call it, is actually held it stabilised, and what I could do is I could run a drop of glue on that side and on the other side and underneath, and it'll actually hide that seam. So a cheap way of doing it, but it's worth a treat. Nice one. Stay with me.